I had just graduated from the University of Georgia, and I knew it all. Multiple degrees in hand, I was ready to change the world. I took pedagogical classes and history classes so myopic, I could teach about 10 areas of the world. I could tell you about the history of the samurai, Civil War battles, weapons of world wars, the inherent bias in the media, and the entire economic history of the South following the Civil War. And when I accepted my first teaching assignment, I was eager to change the world. I was convinced I had all the tools to cultivate greatness within the minds of my eager young learners. Oh, how wrong I was. My first teaching load assigned geography, Italian, and study skills. Problem number one, college had prepared me quite well to write amazing lesson plans, but sadly those courses I took would only cover 20 days worth of content, and there were still another 160 to cover. But somehow I got through that. Problem number two, aside from my area of expertise, I was asked to teach Italian, which went surprisingly well considering I spoke absolutely no Italian. Fake it till you make it, or as they say in Italian, yeah. Problem number three, study skills. Now, I was familiar with studying, and luckily they gave me some help in preparation for this course. 30 dittos and handouts that were at best mediocre and certainly a violation of someone's copyright. However, as we all do, I survived that first year, and strangely enough, I was actually proud of what I did. I not only helped students to realize some of the things that they were capable of, but I learned the most valuable teaching lesson of all. Just keep swimming. About a month into my summer, the phone rang, and I ran around the apartment looking for that cordless phone that I always put in the wrong place. And right before the answering machine picked it up, it was a familiar voice. It was that of my principal. I talked to him, hung up the phone. My wife said, "What was that all about?" And I said, "This is great. This is amazing. I'm like really a teacher now. I have just been selected to go to a conference." I didn't know what it was about, and I told her, it's called a Summer Institute. I didn't know what that was either. And then I soon there figured out that I wasn't really being asked to go. It was what we all call being voluntold. But I went to the conference, and I took a seat in the back, and I attempted to engage as much as you can when it's like you're drinking through a fire hose. But as the days passed and I moved further up, I realized that this could be something amazing. I thought to myself, wow, if I had a classroom full of students who really wanted more and were willing to do what they needed to do, now that would be amazing. And from that point on, we started to put our AVID plan into place. First semester, student selection. Second semester, we got the program up and running. And from that point on, the trajectory of my teaching career has changed. I started to view students differently. I started to view my craft differently. And I even got assigned classes to teach that I was competent in. They even asked me to teach an AP class, which I never even took one, so that was surprising. And then, as I started to adopt more and more of this AVID persona, I started pushing those AVID students into my AP class because I knew that's what they needed. I knew that's what they were capable of. And I started pushing them into other classes so that they could get those rigorous courses taken care of. And I realized that the formula for my success and the formula for their success was simple. Student desire plus teacher desire would equal success. And student and teacher success, it's not a solitary journey. And it's only when we realize that we're all partnering for that success that we can achieve the greatness that we as educators and they as students are capable of. Luis, Lizzie, Laura, Lachelle, Rosa, Hector, Fanez, Gloria, Elise, Aaron, Tessa, the list goes on and on. Their trajectory changed. My trajectory changed. All because of the strategies that we were cultivating in that AVID program. They had the desire to be successful, and their teachers wanted them to be successful. And this AVID journey took partners to get there. And as we began to move through the years, a firm foundation with that site team was laid, and that's why our program continued on. We were building towards that collaborative vision of greatness, and that's what we all strive to continue doing. And this philosophy of what I was doing with those AVID students began to spill over into all areas of my teaching, not just when I was teaching AVID. For when we were fortunate enough to bring on a full-time AVID teacher, and I kind of got squeezed out of doing that, my classroom, my high school social studies classroom, became the new place to cultivate those skills. And I began to implement things like Cornell Notes, first as a recommendation, and now as a requirement. And the strange thing was that eventually the kids told me they liked them because they knew it was what was right for them. And while there were people along the way who weren't sure what this whole AVID thing was, once I told them what it was, and once I told them what those students were pushing to do, they were on board. And the number of advocates in our school continued to grow. And eventually we started pushing those strategies school-wide. And our administration started to adopt those as a part of our school improvement plan. Those strategies were a part of the fabric of our school. And why, you might ask? Because AVID is great for teachers. AVID is great for students. AVID is great for creating a community of people who care about seeing all people to be successful. Student desire plus teacher desire equals success. Thank you.